Hey guys, today's video we're out in the garage working on the Ranger, and I picked up a street legal kit, and I should be able to have turn signals and the horn and everything I need to make this street legal. So let's see what's inside this box. Alright, before I show you what's inside the box, let me just tell you a little bit about this company. I believe they're a Utah company. I did a lot of research online about street legal kits, and a lot of them were generic, or universal. You could just splice in and add different things to make it work. This one is specific for my machine, for the Polaris Ranger 900. And it's basically, they said plug and play. I do have to run some wires. Everything's included. I got this from my dealer, and they're the ones that opened it originally. They wanted to make sure I had everything in the box. In the box you'll see instruction manual, full color. There's the license plate holder. Let me open up this and show you the card. Rycomoto Motorsports at Nephi, Utah. It comes with wiring harnesses for the horn and for the light kit in the front. Here is the main lever. Got your turn signals, got your horn, and you pull this out and you have hazards. And everything's color coded. Here's the horn, some more mounting hardware, more wiring, more wiring. So what we're going to do is I'll take you guys through step by step how to install this. They said it will take about 3 hours if you take your time, but my video hopefully isn't anywhere near that long. I'll go through and see how I can do everything step by step, and then just show you guys the critical parts, and hopefully you'll learn something. I looked online and there was just a few videos of people that after they installed it, no videos really at the time on how to install it. So hopefully you'll find this informative. Okay, the first step is to lower the steering wheel to its lowest position. So there's the highest. You want to bring it to the lowest. And you will see a carriage bolt and a nut on the other side. We need to remove the nut to put the harness switch over the steering column. Okay, here's a picture of the turn signal bracket. You can see where I bolted it. That is a bugger to turn, or to get down and line up. And then the next thing we're supposed to do is get the wiring harness and push it through the opening here. And now you got to take this cover off. It doesn't say that in the instructions dash. There's a push pin here, another one there, there, and there. You just pop the top off with the screwdriver up and you pull it out. Pull the top off. And then you have the wire harness come through Okay, now that we have the wires ran through the down through the steering column and in, I guess you call it under the dash, we're going to plug in the flasher relay. And on my machine, it's the blue and yellow, so we're going to plug that in. Like so. I'm not going to tie that down in yet. The next thing we're going to do is the horn fuse harness. And on mine, it's got the green. So I'm going to come to my wiring harness that I just ran through the firewall, find the one with the green. And this is the one with the green right here. Plug it in. Like so. And I'm just going to leave those loose for right now. Okay, on my Polaris 900 XP, I have a hole. As you open up the hood, there's a hole right here. I don't know if you can see that. Right here. I'm going to put the horn there. So there's a bolt, kind of a spacer. We're going to put that in the hole. And then we have to tighten it from underneath the machine. Okay, you're going to find the nut or the bolt to put the nut actually in front of the shock mount. Okay, to hook the horn up to the electrical, what I ended up doing to run the wire through the firewall is there's a little cap right here. I just drilled a hole through, brought the wiring harness down through, and plugged it in. I left the switch harness still in there, kind of loose. I'll tie all that down as soon as I get done. Hooking up the rest of the wires. Okay guys, the next thing we have to do is locate the hydraulic brake switch. And if you look on my machine, we're underneath it on the driver's side. Here's the brake master cylinder, and just behind that you'll see a wiring harness. Let me see here. And that wiring harness has an orange, yeah, you can see it, that orange wire. Okay guys, I disconnected that switch for the hydraulic brake, and I found that I didn't need to undo that. What we did is I took the bracketry off for up on top here. Let me show you where I'm at. So I took the bracketry off, lifted this up, and this is just the radiator support. And what we did was we traced the orange wire that goes down at the switch up to here. And right here, I put that parallel kit, or that parallel splice, the parallel splice in here, and I'm going to plug the wire in right here and then run it along here, and then I'll probably have to drill a hole or something, maybe right here, and then take it up through here, the firewall. We figured instead of splicing down below, let me show you. Instead of splicing right here where the switch is, we figured that could be getting wet right here. So I wanted to keep this dry. Alright, what you can see is I plugged in the wire here, and I ran it along the existing wiring harness and then just out here. This is just temporary.
I got all this hooked up just to see if it'll work, and then once I know everything works, I'll come through and put this in a wire harness, and then I'll button all these back up. Okay, the next step is to remove the wiring harness from the back of the digital display, or the interactive display if you have an interactive one. Now in order to do that, there's a clip right there. Now you don't use any tools, you just press in on the clip. You press in and just pull it out. There it goes. So that's what it looks like. Now we got to take this clear plastic off, and to do that you got to get a screwdriver or something, press in here and press in here. So what I did is I took a screwdriver and I pushed in on the sides, and that brings it right out. And there's the cover. Okay, to take the cover apart, there's these little latches here. You just pull those apart, and there's one right here. Just lift up, and that exposes where the jumpers are at. Now these jumpers are labeled 6 and 7. See them right down there, the blue jumpers? We're going to take those out, and you should be able to pull them out with your fingernail. And what I did was just use my fingernail, and you just pry them up and out. And here they are again, number 6 and number 7. So you take those out, you can throw those away if you want. Okay, I found the wiring harness. It's got the green plastic, but it's got the blue heat shrink. I put the red in number 7, right? Nope, the red in number 6. Okay, I'm pushing one through. Now you'll be able to see the pin on the other side come up and through. See the pins right here? Let me push it through. You can see that I got the pins pushed all the way through. I closed the latch, ran the wires out the side, and now the clear plastic is ready to go back on, and then I will reinsert it back into its slot.
Alright guys, now's the time for what I've been dreading for. I have to drill holes, 6 of them, for the LED lights. Now what I did is I took some tape, taped over the area where I'm going to drill the holes, and I found center line between here and up here, and then there's a little radius part right here, and I brought that line straight across. And then what I did is I found center between here, and then there's a little corner here, found center, which was this is 4 inches long, found center 2 inches, and then the spacing is supposed to be, they said, adequate 1.5 inches between the 2 holes. So off of center I moved off 3/4 of an inch, leaving me 1.5 inches between the 2. And then there's this little radius part, angled part rather, here. I found the center, which is roughly 1 inch. Mark that. So now what I'm going to do is get my center punch, center drill, and then I'm going to drill some holes. Alright, what I'm going to do first is take a center punch. This is actually one that I made. I'm a machinist by trade, 30 years experience, and then I got out of there, went into engineering. I'm just going to make a small dimple there where I want them. And one right here, roughly. And then what I'm going to do is take a center drill
put it in my drill motor and go through and open these up just a little bit. Alright, now that I got these holes here center drilled, I got to go through with the step drill and drill them. But I want to only go to the 750 or 3/4 inch. So what I did was I took a marker and I marked which flat to go to. You know, and I measured it with my calipers, and it's only actually maybe 745, but I'll drill up until that last, or up until the end of the black mark. So I want to make sure there's nothing behind there. Okay. I'm just going to do it in steps. Don't want to mess something up. Okay, that's it. I'll bring you around this way and I'll do this one right here. You can see the plastics melting on the drill. Okay. Then we got one more right here. This sucks. Got a brand new machine and I'm drilling holes in it. Alright, now we're going to be ready to install the LED lights through the holes. Now make sure on this one, I don't know if you can see it, it says L. L is for the driver's side. So we're going to push the grommets off of the LEDs. Let's see here, I'm going to go, let's go this one right here, push the LEDs through. Then you're going to fish the grommet through, so you got to squeeze the grommet through that hole. And then now here you want to make sure it seats on the inside and behind it. See how there's a little seat? Make sure you pull it all the way through. And then on the LEDs there's light, there's little lines. I want my lines to go vertically. That's just how I went to the dealer and they had some in there and they put theirs vertically. You just want to bring that around. Make sure that that grommet's seated all the way around it. It looks like it is. It's not going anywhere. So I'll go through and do the other ones. Well, I'll do one more. It doesn't matter which light you put where. And if they're a little loose, maybe I'll just pop this one out. If they're a little loose, maybe you could put a little bit of silicone on here and then pop them in, and that will help keep them in. But when you pull the wires in to cinch them in, that should keep them from poking out anyway. There, we got that one seated on the outside. Now let's put the light in. There we go. And do the third one. It's really not that bad. This was the step that I was dreading the worst. And the hardest part actually was putting the switch itself onto the steering column. There. That's a little loose. I'll probably put some silicone in there to keep that in. Okay, the next step is to hook in the wire to the wire harness, the rear turn signals. So I've already went ahead and done that, and I put some of this material, like a wire loom, on it. Ran it through the firewall and then down, and then I had to remove the center console hump. Those are just held in with some pins. Ran the wiring down through, and then if you're like me and you have the extra cab, you can't take that out. So what I ended up doing was putting a fishing pole, the end of a fishing pole, on the wire loom, and I ran it all the way through. And my son grabbed it, fished it through. You can see we brought it up, and I'm just getting ready now to, there's the extra wire. So if you have an extra cab like I do, you do get plenty of wire. Okay, the next step was I found the original wiring harness where it tees underneath the bed, and then I brought the new wiring harness next to the existing one, undid the clamp that holds the cables up, found the orange wires on both sides, cut the orange wires, and then with these little ties, or the splice kits that came included, I tied one side of the orange, which is the right side, to the black wire, and then the red wire goes to the orange on the left side. And I'm going to leave all of this down until after I get it all hooked up and ready to go, or I know that the lights work. Okay, the last step, you want to go underneath the dash, and one of your power points, whether it's the top one or the bottom one, got to get two more splice kits. Put one on the orange and one on the green. Then you hook the red wire with the fuse into the orange, and one in the black one to the brown wire. Now we should have power, so I'm gonna put this here,
and we'll see what happens. We got running lights. Left blinker. That should be right blinker. Hazards. And horn. Hey, I'm surprised it worked. Okay, now I went on to the back. When I push on the brake pedal, the brakes pulsate. I'll show you, or the brake lights pulsate. And then here's left blinker, right blinker, and hazards. Okay, the next step is I'm going to install the license plate holder. Now what I've done is I've taken off the tailgate, and I'm going to drill a couple holes for these tabs to come up here like so. But what I'm going to do first is just mark my spacing with this up there like so. There's one. There's two. Now I'm just going to go through and drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Boy, that's thick. You want to be careful on the back side so you don't hit any wires. It's about ready to break through. And then I'll do the other one real quick. Okay, what I did was I ended up drilling the other hole, and I painted the frame, and then I hung these two tabs, and then there was a hole right next to those, kind of like this one in the frame right here, and that's where I hung the LED light. So now it comes time to run the harness. Okay, what I did was I ended up putting the parallel kit off of a red wire. So I ran the red wire from the LED light to the power, and then I ran the black wire to the brown one in the factory harness. And let's see if the LED light comes on. It should come on when you turn on the key. Yep, it comes on. Alright guys, here's what it looks like when it's all tied up. Got the wires put away. Let's walk around the back. So, I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with me today on this long video. Hopefully you guys that are looking at putting one of these on your rig, this answered some questions. It wasn't really that bad, just time consuming. So hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.